knowing that the question was, what do we take from the show's values? I think what Richard and Candace both have really personified again. I'm glad that I'm the last one to speak because I get a chance to hear them augment what they're saying, because basically what Richard just said, I think every person that has really grown to appreciate this series is ready for that to happen. I think everybody went there. I think you all took the journey, and each one of you would say, wow, man, God almighty, I gotta see the next one to see if I can handle it. You know, because basically the end of the earth, as we know it, is what Richard's talking about. And look, what's happening in Syria is not a joke. Are we really going to fire something at them to show them that we mean business? That's a the Admiral would not do that. And you know what it means? It means that immediately there will be a tremendous cyber attack that they will do on us. They're going to do it, no matter what we do, but they're going to go after us. They're coming fast, they're coming furious. And we know it as, you know, the jihad. But basically, we're at war with ourselves. And this planet can't take it. All right? It's already suffering in immense ways. So what did I take from the show? The ability to comprehend and understand the future that's coming. Now you say, well, that's pretty negative. Not very optimistic, Ed. You're supposed to be, I'm optimistic, I'm the Admiral. Come on. And I believe that we could make it, even when we couldn't. No one says, we'll find Earth. Where? I don't know.
You promised.
I promised that I kept my promise. Little did I know the Earth I was looking for was completely demolished already. We do.
Yeah, thanks for that too.
So depressing. It was so depressing when we did that. At one point, we had the writer's strike, and we thought that was going to be the final episode. It's finding Earth and it's completely destroyed. Well, it's a hell of a way to go out, guys. None of you can do that, but that's what really was the truth, because we had gotten to the point where they wanted to say, okay, there'll be no more seasons. And so at the end, when we find Earth, the real Earth, and it was completely demolished. It was completely turned into a nuclear wasteland.
That was an incredible day. I have some great pictures of all of us because
we were all
saying goodbye, sort of, in a way.
We were saying goodbye on the set as we walked through those different moments in time. If you go back and remember when people, Chief was walking where he got toasted. And people like, do you remember? And his shadows went, that's me. I was here. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And so, different people were going through the different changes. And so, but we were walking around with each other, looking at each other, saying goodbye. And the Chief was Wyco, man.
Oh, yeah.
He was in his room. And he's like, yeah, this is it.
End of season libations.
Let's go out and do the scene again. I wish he was here. He had so much fun. But in essence, really, what we take away from this, and this is again the beauty of the audiovisual event, nothing attacks the subconscious mind more. What you place yourself through was the experience. What we did by doing it, living it. In order to act, you have to be. In order to be, you have to understand your moment to moment. So you have to be there in the moment, not, oh, I'm going to do something now. You're inside of it. So when you're doing those scenes, you're in it. And you're living it. And so therefore, you're totally committed to the understanding and the feeling. That's how come, when I did Dexter, I was freaked out. That was the weirdest fucking show I've ever done.
I was a little freaked out too.
And the only reason I did that show is because I was never there. I was in a refrigerator.
Yeah.
So, and I was never in the show. Okay, I'll do your show then. I'll do all those things because I really am not there. I'm dead. And so, in the case of this, though, we have come to the point, we know very well that things are really not going well. And as much as we want to think we are, the bankers and the corporations of the world are really destroying us to the highest level. And they really don't care. I mean, most of us don't really know that the Federal Reserve, is privately owned. Not owned by the government, it's owned by private bankers. And they control everything. They make our money. And we pay interest to them. That's why they invented the income tax. So that we in turn pay the income of the interest that is loaned to the government, to the people, given to the people, so we can live. And they in turn make the money, they make $1, here you go, we'll charge you 4%, 3%, 2% interest on that dollar. Please, you owe me now, the Federal Reserve, you owe the Federal Reserve, 2% or 3% on $1 trillion. You know, and now $17 trillion worth of interest, daily, compounded daily, and given to a bunch of bankers. That's driving us to the point of us being able to say, this doesn't work. And so we're very close. If you've seen anything, if you know anything of what I'm talking about, we're very close. 10 years they give for a catastrophe in California? They're dreamers. When the San Andreas Fault slips, and it will slip, we know it will slip. It will make the ground move for 27 minutes. Now, I just want you to go like this. Everybody just go like this. Okay, just like this. Just do that. Just 5 more seconds. Just do that. Imagine doing this for 27 minutes. Just this. Like, you know? It's going to be traveling 6,000 miles per hour, and it's going to travel from Baja California all the way to Vancouver. The San Andreas Fault goes all the way up. Everything that's in both sides of California, of the San Andreas Fault, are going to get hit. So Arizona's going to get hit, Nevada's going to get hit, Idaho's going to get hit, Washington, the state of Washington will be hit as hard as California, as well as Oregon will be hit as hard as California. There will not be one building left standing. There will not be one road that is capable of to be used. Okay, there will be no water. It'll take over 1 year just to get electricity to the points where it's needed. That's how radical this catastrophe that is coming is going to be. FEMA, of course, knows this. I mean, we've known this in 2007. I am the spokesperson for earthquake preparedness in California. So I'm telling you this. So, you know, you brought it up. I'm going to really lay it on you today. Good morning, America. Welcome to DragonCon, where we fight the bad people. I am the Admiral, and I'm here to tell you, we need to really make sure that the Battlestar Galactica is in tune with what's coming. Prepare yourself. How do you do that? Spiritually, mentally, and physically. So just prepare yourself for that. Be ready to go to California to help. Everybody must go to California and just start digging people out and helping as much as you can. Take things with you that can help people. Just like we did during the riots in 2001, there was 300,000 people that went out into the streets and in 3 days completely destroyed Los Angeles. 6,000 buildings were burned and gutted, you know. 58 people were killed in a little over 48 hours, a little over 2 days. And I walked out with a broom, within 3 days, 300,000 people came from all over California, all over Nevada, all over Arizona. They came from Oregon. They came from all places. They came with brooms sticking out of their windows. And they came, and over 300,000 people cleaned Los Angeles in 3 days. Every single place that was destroyed had been touched by somebody trying to clean it. And it wasn't the city that did it. It was not the government that did it. It was us, the people. And we're going to have to clean up our own mess. That's what we at Battlestar are ready for. You've been through the worst. I mean, you've seen all your relatives dead. You've seen yourself on the Battlestar with everybody that you knew in your mind gone. And you were now on the Battlestar. And you were out there, just a few of us. It was 49,000. say this with a great amount of respect and admiration for our government, a great understanding of what we stand for, we the people. I really do believe that, but I think that the bankers of this United States of America and the world have destroyed the very essence of who we are as human beings. The value systems have been deteriorated. Wall Street is an abomination. Everybody there wants to do one thing, and that's make lots of money for themselves and their family. And if they screw everybody over, it doesn't matter. And you know, what Monsanto's doing, they should be arrested. You know, but if they're not going to arrest the bankers for embezzlement, no, they did in 2008, they're sure not going to arrest anybody. Monsanto's, they're trying to help us. You know, so they're making genetically good foods that kill you. If you don't go organic soon, I don't know when you're going to start. Get yourself a NutriBlast, a NutriBullet, little blender thing, you know, extract nutrition, and just start using it. It's very, very good, but don't put anything that isn't organic in it. That's my answer.
That's in my room. I really do.
I recommend it too. I recommend it too. I do too. I have it in my room. I just went to Whole Foods and got $100 worth of vegetables for this morning so I can take a blast. I'm sorry, I just came back. I was late.
All right. You're making my job really easy. Thank you very much. This side.
Hey, so I'd love to sit down and talk to you about economics and politics sometimes almost. You've got some interesting ideas there, but
I couldn't understand the word you just said. Slow down and say it again.
Remember, we have an echo in here. It's really reverberating, so you have to. I'm not the person to say, but yeah, speak slowly because we're getting a big echo.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd love to talk to you about economics and politics sometimes almost. You have some interesting ideas there. I wanted to ask about the show in terms of current events. I think when the show was going on, there were a lot of undertones to current events at the time. How do you think the show would be different, or the story would be told differently if it was being shot today?
How do you think the story would be told differently if it's shot today?
Yes?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it would be told differently.
Would you want it?
No. I mean, listen, we all like to think that, you know, we came up with it, and it's an original idea, and it's the first time we thought of poking each other with bigger sticks. But human beings have been doing this little rigmarole for a really long time. I think the basic human reactions and motivations and state of mind have been the same way since we had sticks to hit each other over the head with. I think the story would be exactly the same.
In regards to the actual filming of the show, it would be much more advanced today than it was.
Oh,
years ago.
technologically.
Yeah, I mean, basically we are advancing very quickly. So I think the show would have a much stronger understanding of itself. And I think that we all to bring it. You have to remember, when we did the show, one of the things that was really interesting is that something was invented in 2003 when the show started. And that was talking to one another on the internet, blogging. And that was, Skype wasn't on yet. But blogging just started to blog one another. And the writers had a blog, you know, and so people started to talk with each other about the show immediately when it went out. And I told already, the writers wrote it to this level. It was a very high level. Then the production got it, and we made it real. All the words became reality because we performed them and they had them on screen. And it brought it to a higher level. The same words, all of a sudden, the same script went to a higher level. Then the editors and the post-production crew got it and took it to, Bear got it and took it to an incredible level. And then it was shown to the people, it was shown to you, and you in turn started to blog about it. And started to say, well, you know, this is what we think, man, what you guys wrote and what you're saying and this, it means this and this and this to me. And then the writers would look at each other and go, that's exactly what we meant. That's exactly right, you got it. And they would write from that level. That awareness level then is where they would begin to write. They're new because they go, yeah, man, those ideas are great. That's exactly what we meant. Yes, they got it. You know, of course they got it. You know, it's like when we put out the Last Supper, the photograph. do you know how much chaos that caused? And you guys were bending it and making it look like a certain way and say, see, you bend it like this, like this. See who it is? That's the fifth one right there. You know?
It's the one that's missing, the one that's supposed to go between Jamie and...
So in essence, yeah, I think that the show it would be today at a much higher level of understanding of itself. And especially with what's going on with us right now, and with Syria and everything else. I mean, all that, they would just look at the news. Our writers would just be up to date with what humanity was doing to itself right here, and then augmented, I mean, waterboarding, right to choose, right to life, you know, suicide bombings, you know, we were right on time on everything we were doing because it was just happening. They were using it in the show, and it worked perfectly. We had to deal with it. I can't tell you how many people agreed with no killing of babies. When the admiral says, enough, everybody, get pregnant, have babies, everybody, I don't care who you are, just have babies. You know, no child will be killed ever again. And everybody said, oh, wait, that's, you know, we have a right to choose. And that's what Mary was going. In Caprica, they have the right to choose, and she's Capricanian. And she said, sorry, that child will live. Everybody, go make babies. Rosalind, you and I, let's try.
So I mentioned of Bear, I just texted Bear, and Bear just comes back with, tell everyone I said, so say we all. So that's what Bear did. Couple last few questions kind of touched on this, so I'm going to dig a little deeper. After we came back from the writer's strike, I know that the writers kind of had an idea that, you know, we can do what we've been wanting to do for 4 years, because what are they going to do, cancel us? So season 4 got pretty dark, and I know that personally when I would go to my mailbox for 3 years prior, I'd see a new script. It's like Christmas, and season 4 is like, oh my gosh, because I'm going to read this, and I'm going to be different afterwards because it's so dark. Did you experience the same thing? You almost didn't want to read because not only because it was dark, but it's one step closer to the end.
Well, I only read that one script.
Well, speaking of which,
There was just that one. I just watched the rest of it. Yeah, well, what's the question?
the question is were you finding that the darkness of last season when you had to read these scripts, was that alone affecting? Each script I would get, it's like I almost didn't want to read it. It was so moving, so dark, so sinister, so...
You know, that script that I read really blindsided me because I did not see it coming. Me, you, and everyone.
She read it, and there was a few of us that read it, but some of us were told like the day before, you know. When were you told? Remember, did they 6 months ahead? Oh, did they?
Oh, nice for you.
You're lucky. Like you.
I knew when I got that call from Ron Moore's office,
Yeah.
that something was up, so.
I got a call a couple days after. After Mary called. You don't want Mary to call when she's mad. Yeah, no. Yes, darkness, but necessary darkness, and I think darkness that we all saw coming. I mean, it wasn't exactly the most lighthearted show in the world, given the subject matter, and yeah, it threw me for a loop for a little while, and Candace McClure got really sad because she wasn't going to be on this amazing show anymore. The actor started thinking about being unemployed. Again. But when I thought about it, and I saw the way that it was written in such a sympathetic way, that it gave her a real true-to-life experience, this idea of feeling positive and feeling like you've made a positive decision in your life, you've taken control of something, and how liberating that feeling is. That she had these joyful moments, that she got to say goodbye and really commune with her friends and her family before she felt like what was going to be relief. I thought it was really well done. And in all the darkness, there is such a striking beauty about it.